ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम महागणपतये नमः। ओम भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः, भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः, स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः, स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः, स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः, स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम नमस्ते गणपतये त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं तत्त्वमसि, त्वमेव केवलं कर्तासि, त्वमेव केवलं धर्तासि, त्वमेव केवलं हर्तासि, त्वमेव सर्वं खल्विदं ब्रह्मासि, त्वं साक्षादात्मासि नित्यं। ऋतं वच्मि सत्यं वच्मि अवत्वं माम् अववक्तारम् अवश्रोतारम् अवदातारम् अवधातारम् अवानुजानमवशिष्यम् अवपश्चात्तात् अवपुरस्तात् अवोत्तरात्तात् अवदक्षिणात्तात् अवचोर्ध्वात्तात् अवाधरात्तात् सर्वतो मां पाहि पाहि समन्तात्। त्वं वाङ्मयस्त्वं त्वमानन्दमयस्त्वं ब्रह्ममयः, त्वं सच्चिदानन्दाद्वितीयोऽसि, त्वं प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि, त्वं ज्ञानमयो विज्ञानमयोऽसि। सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तो जायते, सर्वं जगदिदं त्वत्तस्तिष्ठति, सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि लयमेष्यति, सर्वं जगदिदं त्वयि प्रत्येति। त्वं भूमिरापो नलो निलो नभः, त्वं चत्वारि वाक् पदानि, त्वं गुणत्रयातीतः, त्वमवस्थात्रयातीतः, त्वं देहत्रयातीतः, त्वं कालत्रयातीतः, त्वं मूलाधारस्थितोऽसि नित्यं, त्वं शक्तित्रयात्मकः, त्वां योगिनो ध्यायन्ति नित्यं। त्वं ब्रह्मा त्वं विष्णुस्त्वं रुद्रस्त्वमिन्द्रस्त्वम् अग्निस्त्वं वायुस्त्वं सूर्यस्त्वं चन्द्रमास्त्वं ब्रह्म भूर्भुवस्वरों गणादिं पूर्वमुच्चार्य वर्णादीं तदनन्तरम् अनुस्वारः परतरः अर्धेन्दुलसितं तारेण ऋद्धम् एतत्तव मनुस्वरूपं गकारः पूर्वरूपम् अकारो मध्यमरूपम् अनुस्वारश्चान्त्यरूपं बिन्दुरुत्तररूपं नादस्सन्धानं संहिता संधिः सैषा गणेश विद्या गणक ऋषिः निचृद्गायत्री छन्दः गणपतिर्देवता। ओं गं गणपतये नमः। एकदन्ताय विद्महे वक्रतुण्डाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। So we were looking at the Ganesha mantra which is given in this Upanishad for doing upasana, Ganesha upasana. Upasana is very, very relevant for everybody because nobody comes to Vedanta as a Uttama Sishya. Okay. Although the ideal Sishya is talked about and they are supposed to understand Vedanta when they hear from the Guru, the Mahavakya. So they understand the Mahavakya Shravana Matrena, just by listening to the words of the Guru, they are able to understand it clearly, and also they don't have any other hindrances, correct? Obstacles, obstructions, they don't have any doubts, they don't have any habitual tendencies to overcome, means they are jnani. Now that is the ideal, okay? Not everybody, or 99% or more, also or 99.99% we can say, people are not like that. Okay. So Uttama Adhikari, very, very few. In fact, Vamadeva is supposed to have become a jnani in the womb itself. Okay. So the Vamadeva, Rishi Vamadeva is also quoted in Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So Vamadeva says, I was Manu, Aditya, like that. So the Sarvatma Bhava, he expresses like that, and that is quoted in the Brihadaranyaka. Like that, there are not many. So everybody has to prepare themselves for this knowledge. Preparation means two parts are there to the preparation, because this knowledge is about yourself. It is not an objective knowledge. Even for objective knowledge, you require preparation, because if you don't know calculus or a certain level of mathematics, you cannot study physics. Correct? You go to enroll physics in a university, you say, I want to study quantum physics. Means they'll first ask, do you know algebra? Do you know calculus? All these things are prereqs. Always there is a prerequisites are there. If you don't have the prerequisite, you can go and attend those classes first and then come to this. Like that, here also there is a adhikaritvam, we say, prerequisites are there. But the most important prerequisite is your own interest. Okay. If you have that, everything else you will pick up. And to have interest, you should have recognized that there is a fundamental problem with yourself. Then only interest will come. Okay. So once you have recognized you have a problem and you have a burning desire to resolve that problem, you need a solution, then you will have interest in Vedanta also. So that is the mumukshutvam, jignasa. Mumukshutvam has to become jignasa. Even for that you require a certain knowledge. So when this is there, still other things are there. Everybody is born with a prarabdha karma, which entails a certain type of childhood. Most of the adult problems are childhood problems. Understand that. It is all sitting already. You are all programmed subconsciously in a certain manner by your own childhood. Sometimes even past life impressions are all there, samskaras. Phobia. This fear, phobia. Fear is somewhat this life, but phobia and all is mostly related to something related to the jiva's death in the previous life. Something which got associated with that expresses as a phobia in this life. So like this, many of these samskaras or impressions are sitting in your subconscious, and all these impressions are only reinforcing your individuality. Individuality itself is a problem. Understand that. All your problems are because of thinking that you are an individual or identifying yourself as an individual. Correct? The identification as an individual is the root of all the problems. And that is being reinforced all the time by your ragadvesha also. Likes and dislikes are also there. Most of them are subconscious, in fact. Okay. So you have to overcome all these things. Because as soon as you think that I want something, means you are already lacking it. Correct? If you are lacking something, means you are not the complete, you are not whole, you are not full. Correct? That means you are an individual, you are a limited individual. So every like, every dislike is only reinforcing your limitedness, your individuality. It is a problem. That is why the first thing in Vedanta we say is, you should get out of binding desires. You should have certain mastery over your likes and dislikes. You have to get out of the thought that by having this only I can be happy, or by not having this, or by getting rid of something only I can be happy. Even relative terms I am saying. That has to go away forever. That is the mastery over your likes and dislikes. You don't have any binding likes and dislikes. Everybody can have preferences. Anyway, if you are born in South India, you like idli. You cannot do anything about it. Correct? Or you like tair sadam, curd rice. So these things are all preferences, are all fine. Nothing is binding. As an individual, you can still have preferences. Those are also again based on how you have been brought up from childhood. But that is different. You have to get rid of your binding desires. But not only that, you also have so many emotional issues are there. As a child, you have gone through so many situations, and all those emotional disturbances do not go away. If you are not able to handle it as a child, all those emotional disturbances are simply suppressed in your subconscious so that the child can still be safe. But they are all there. And once you become adult also, all these things are controlling you. In fact, if you have a safe relationship, all these things will come out, in fact. If you feel safe in a relationship, all the childhood problems will come, and in fact, right, that relationship itself can become a problem. Okay, so that is something we have to take care of, all these problems, the problems which are there in your unconscious or subconscious. How do we do that? You can go for therapy and all that. Modern day, there are therapies are there, psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, may be useful. Or you have to do upasana, because anyway you have to recognize everything as Ishvara. Everything as a manifestation of Ishvara, the Lord. Everything is in order, including your own body, mind, sense complex. You have to see order in yourself and order in the world around you, however evil it may look. Okay, because people have a way of looking at things, correct? They see everything as good, bad, evil and all that. Whatever way you may see it as an individual, everything is in order. There is only order. Your own reactions, your own pain, hurt, everything is in order only. Everything else around you which is triggering all these things also is in order. Everything is Ishvara's order. Instead of seeing the individual and the world, you are only seeing Ishvara and Ishvara's order. That has to come. Then only, after that only, all this Advaita will make sense. Okay, first Ishvara has to be understood. You should have the space, the leisure, the vision also has to be there, certain knowledge, insight, to accept yourself and the world as it is, however it is, correct? How do I accept? Means you have to see everything as Ishvara, Ishvara's order. There is no other way. And all this upasana is a preparation for that. The more tapas you do, more upasana you do, you are actually getting free from all these emotional problems. And you are able to see everything as Ishvara, including your own, whatever emotions are happening in your mind, reactions are there, all that. Only with Ishvara Anugraha, grace of the Lord, you can overcome all these things. So unless you have a certain disposition of your mind, calm, free from likes and dislikes, Vedanta will not enter. Very difficult to understand. So all these upasanas are very, very relevant for everybody. So you do your Ishta Devata upasana, how much ever you can do. One has to do that. Some certain Purascharana we say, correct? So many lakhs, so many thousands of times you have to chant. Then that mantra itself, you don't, even when you are not doing anything, the mantra is going in your mind. Instead of some other useless thoughts being there in your mind, at least the mantra is going always in the background, correct? then Ishvara Chinta only is there always. So that is very important. In fact, with your breath itself, you can synchronize the mantra. Every time you take your breath in, one part of the mantra is chanted automatically. Then you leave the breath out, another part of the mantra. Like this, we can even practice and coordinate it like that. So this upasana is very, very important, and Ganapati upasana is prescribed here, and the mantra for that is given. Ganadim Purvam Ucharya Varnadim Tadanantaram. So this I think we discussed. So the Gana Adi means Gana, and the beginning of that Gana is what? Gakara. So that you start with Gakara. So Purvam Ucharya, first you say G. Then Varnadi. So the beginning of all the Varnas, alphabets is Akara, A. So Ig, A, Ga it becomes. So Ga. Then Anuswara. Anuswara is that dot. Again, Anuswara is not Makara. Understand that. Although it can become Makara in certain situations. Monuswara, like that sutra is there. Paniniya Sutra. So when nothing follows it, then it becomes Gam. But if something follows it, it can become the Anunasika of that particular Varga. Okay. Now in this case, the full mantra is Ganapataye Namaha also is there after Gam, or Gam means Gam, let us say. But then when it continues like that, it will become Gang Ganapataye Namaha, because instead of Im, you have to say Ng, the nasal of the Kanthya Varga. Okay. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. Nga is the sound. So the nasal of the ka varga is, then it will become like that. Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Gang it will become. The Anuswara. So Ardhen Dulasitam Tarena Riddham also we saw. So Tara means, again interesting thing is there. Tara means that sound is there, correct? We do not stop it like that, or even gum, let us say, or om we say. When you chant om, okay, om itself can be chanted. Sannyasis particularly, they are supposed to do only dirgha onkara japa. Om, om, like that. Only onkara japa is prescribed for sannyasis. In fact, normal people, they don't encourage. In fact, they say that if you do only onkara japa, you will become a sannyasi. So grihastha should not chant only om. You have to always chant it with some other bija mantras and the actual mantra itself. But even when you chant onkara, the akara, ukara, makara is there in that anyway. But you do not stop that just like that om. No, you do not stop like that, correct? Om. No, you stand om. That you are actually extending. It is becoming complete, full, only when you do like that. In fact, om, om. In fact, there is a silence also afterwards. When you chant any mantra, they always say that you should not chant it in a shigri and all we say. Iti, shigri, shirah, kampi, like that. Generally, with reference to Vedic chanting, it is said. But even when you chant the mantra, when you do mantra japa, it should not be fast and all that. Just because you have to do Purascharana and so much number, you should not go fast. Okay, because many people do this Sahasra Gayatri only once in a year. But I see they finish it off so fast. When I do, it takes me at least 100 minutes to 120 minutes. Some people finish it in 1 hour. I don't know how. They must be going too fast, I think. But when you even do your regular Gayatri Japam, you are supposed to leave 5 gaps. After Om, there has to be a gap. Om Bhurvaswaha Tatsaviturvarenyam. Like that, you have to leave a gap between Om and Bhurvaswaha, and then 3 more gaps are there. Correct? When you chant the 3 padas of the Gayatri. So this, with the gap only you have to chant. The gap also is counted, in fact. That's why when the Omkara itself is supposed to have 5 parts. Normally we understand Omkara to have 3 parts, correct? Akara, Ukara, Makara, we talk about it. And we superimpose many things on that for Upasana purposes also. That is fine. But the Tara or even Bindu, sometimes they call it. That you extend it, correct? So everything is starting from afterwards, then it becomes silence. That silence also you have to focus, because silence is nothing but consciousness. Understand that. Chaitanyam alone is silence here, because everything starts from this silence or Chaitanya, and then everything again resolves back into this Chaitanya only. Now that also one has to understand whenever you are chanting anything. So this Tara, and then there is a silence. 5 parts are there, even in Omkara chanting. Akara, Ukara, Makara is there anyway. Then that Makara is extended, and then it merges with silence. So that also you have to. So everything in fact starts, itself is a Pralaya Rupa, correct? Means that's why that that it is all complete with that sound, means that is you are resolving there. Once you close your mouth, the only sound which comes is correct. You cannot make any other sound, and all the sounds have resolved into that, and then further it resolves into Chaitanyam alone. Okay, so like that, these 5 parts are there. That means, and this is your Manuswarupa. Manuswarupa means what? Etattava Manuswarupa. Manu means mantra. Okay, Gam is the mantra swarupa of Ganapati. That is the bija. And again it is explained here. Gakaraha Purva Rupam. Okay, previously it was said in a particular form, Ganadi, Varnadi and all that. Now straight away, Gakara Purva Rupam. So Gakara you have to say first. Then Akaro Madhyama Rupam. So Purva Rupa, Madhyama Rupa, Antya Rupa. 3 parts I told you. Even in Om, Akara, Ukara, Makara can be considered as Purva Rupa, Madhyama Rupa and Antya Rupa. Here also Anuswarascha Antya Rupam. So Gam means 3 parts are there, but it doesn't end there. Binduruttara Rupam. So Bindu here, that Tara only is called Bindu here. You extend it, correct? That is the Bindu. Gam Ganganapataye Namaha. Only you have to say. You should not say Ganganapataye Namaha. No. Gang. You cannot stop like that. Ganganapataye Namaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Means Gang, like that. That extension is important. Then Nadaha Sandhanam. So Nada can be also considered. We already saw Chatvari Va Padani. So we talk about all this Para, Pashyanti, Madhyama, Vaikhari and all that. All of them together are also called Nada. Okay. But Nada also is the silence where everything resolves. So the 5 parts are there here, you can see. Purva Rupa, Madhyama Rupa, Antya Rupam, Binduhu, Nada. Then all these things, you cannot say, like today you say Ga, after 1 hour or tomorrow you say im, means it doesn't become a mantra or japa, correct? Ganganapataye namaha, you have to say in a continuous flow. There has to be a flow, unbroken flow of chanting. Otherwise, it cannot be called as japa. Or even speech also, let us say normal speech also, Rama. Then after 5 minutes I say went. Another 5 minutes to Ayodhya, means it doesn't make any sense. In fact, you cannot even make any sandhi, regular sandhi. In fact, interestingly, the Paniniya Sutra, if you study, the Sandhi Prakarana or Adhikara starts with the Sutra Samhitayam. So there has to be a Samhita. Samhita there means unbroken flow. Only when there is an unbroken flow of words, the Sandhi rules can apply. Correct? Saisha itself, see, Saisha is there here. Sa, Esha. If you chant it, you can also say Sa, Esha, like that. Then there is no Sandhi if you separate it out. But if you want to say it together, Saisha, the Sa, Esha has become Saisha. Correct? Or Gakaraha, Purva Rupam. But if you say together, Gakara Purva Rupam. Or Anuswaraha Cha Antya Rupam. Separately if you say. But if you say it in a flow, Anuswarascha Antya Rupam. So the Sandhi rules apply only when there is a Samhita. Samhita here means, in fact, there is even a book written by one famous Panini teacher called Samhitayam, Sandhi rules of Panini, like that. I think it is there. There's a book also is there. So the Samhita Sandhihi means what? This unbroken flow of words, when it is there, only that everything then comes together. It has to be there like that, correct? You have to chant all of them. Although there are gaps in between, still all those things have to be in a certain flow together. It has to be there. Then only the chanting is complete again. Om Ganganapataye Namaha. Okay, so that Samhita is very important. And this is Ganesha Vidya, Saisha Ganesha Vidya. So Vidya here means Upasana. So this Ganganapataye, Gam is the Bija, then the mantra also will be there. So that is again. And whenever we chant any mantra, you have to always remember the Rishi, the Chandas, the meter, and the Devata. In fact, even when you go and learn Rig Veda, for example, any Veda Patashala you go, you do Adhyayana. For every mantra, they'll teach that also. And when you remember, you have to also touch, see, when you remember the Rishi, you have to touch your head like this. Ganaka Rishihi. Then like this, Nichrit Gayatri Chandaha, Ganapatir Devata. Devata, you touch your heart, okay, like this. So here, and some they add also, in Sri Vidya Upasana and all, this Shakti Hi and all that is there. Bija, Shakti, Kilaka. And where you touch in your body, for that sometimes varies by different sampradayas. There are different sampradayas in that. So whatever your guru teaches you, you have to do accordingly. So we all touch like this. Bijam, Shakti, Kilakam. Some people do below also. Your navel, Nabhi also they touch. So like this different ways. Essentially everything is there in your body. Okay. So you remember all these things whenever you chant a mantra. So Ganaka Rishihi. So in this case, the mantra, this Ganganapataye Namaha. Ganaka is the Rishi for this mantra. In fact, this Rishi may have had a different name, I think, because this Rishi saw this mantra. He is called Ganaka. No, because he saw this Ganapati mantra. this Ganesha mantra. So he is called Ganakaha. Ganaka Rishihi, Nichrit Gayatri Chandaha, then Chandas. So Rishihi means what? Rishati, Janati. So Rishis are called Mantra Drashtaraha, those who have seen the mantra. They discovered, they are not inventors. In fact, the entire Veda is looked upon as a revelation. Why? Because it is not the creation of any one intellect. Apaurusheya, we say. It is not Paurusheya, it is not from the intellect of anyone. It was discovered, it was seen by the rishis. It was revealed to them, they saw it, they are mantra drashtaraha, and then they started a sampradaya, they taught it to others. That's why we remember the Rishi Parampara always. Even Upakarma we do once in a year. In that we remember and we do even Tarpana to the entire huge list of Rishis are there. Okay. So we actually give water and satisfy them. Okay, Tarpanam. We remember them and we give them water ritualistically and satisfy them because they are the ones who started this lineage. Okay, they saw the mantras, they have started the lineage. So Rishihi means one who has seen a certain mantra. So Ganaka Rishi is the one who has seen this mantra, Ganapati mantra. And always a mantra is in meter. Rigveda itself starts with the Agnimiile Purohitam Yajnasya Deva Mritvujam Hota Aram Ratnadhatamam. Correct? So there is a certain meter is there. Gayatri is a very popular meter. Okay. Gayatri, Anushtup, Trishtup, these are all very popular meters. Gayatri has 24 syllables, 8 each. Tripada Gayatri, it is said. In fact, Pada or Pada means really quarter. Ideally speaking, 4 quarters have to be there, correct, to make it complete. But Gayatri has only 3 quarters. The other quarter, we have to assume that it is transcendental, correct. In fact, in the Purusha Sukta, it is said the other way around. Pado osya vishwa bhutani tripadasya amritan divi. This entire Srishti universe is only one pada of Brahman, of Ishvara. Because this world cannot really cover Ishvara, correct? It's only an appearance. Ishvara Swarupa transcends all these things. So, anyway, so Gayatri has 3 padas of 8 syllables each. Nichrit Gayatri means 1 syllable is down. Okay, 23 we have typically. Okay, so Nichrit Gayatri Chandaha is what every day when you chant your Gayatri mantra during Sandhya Vandanam, it is actually Nichrit Gayatri only. Because Tatsavitur Vareniyam you should say actually. Vareniyam, then only it will become 8. But Varenyam if you say, then it becomes Nichrit Gayatri, only 23. You eat 1 syllable there. Instead of Vareni, that ni vowel, if you leave it out and say Varenyam, means in the Gayatri also, whatever, the regular Gayatri we chant is actually Savitri mantra. Okay, it is Savitra Devata, Savita Devata. So, in that, you chant it with 23 syllables. So, here in fact, actually, Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha is the only mantra. It is only 1 pada is there. So, we have to assume that 3 times if you chant, it becomes Gayatri. Okay. So, this Gang Ganapataye Namaha, you can count Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Correct? So there are Ganapataye Namaha. Namaha. Maha means that Visarga is not counted. It is counted as only 1 syllable. Maha. So 8 are there. So if you do it 3 times and that will be counted as 3 padas. So this Gayatri is the chandas here. In fact, every day when we do even in Sandhya Vandana, we remember all these chandas also, which are most popularly used in the Rig Veda. Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtup, correct, like that. Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtup, Trishtup, Jagatyas, Chanda, Vamsi, like that we say. Gayatri is 24. Ushnik is actually 28. 8, 8, 12, like that it will be there. Ushnik Chandas. So 8 syllable first pada, 8 syllable second, 12 syllables in the third. Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtup is 32. 8, 8, 8, 8. Anushtup is very popular. Understand? Most of, in fact, almost all of Ramayana, most of Mahabharata and all is in Anushtup Chandas only. 32 matras, 4 padas. Okay. Then Trishtup is also very popular. I said 44 syllables, 11 each, 11, 11, 11, 11 is Trishtup. In between, 2 more are there: Gayatri, Ushnik, Anushtup. Then Gayatri, Jagati Chandas also is there. Okay. There is a 36 and 40 are there. 36 again is not 9999. They don't do like that. They do 8, 8, 12, 8. Like that they count 36. Okay. So like this, these different chandas, there are rules are there. The Chandas Shastra is there, in fact, separately. So accordingly, these mantras are all there in these meters, and it is important that we remember all these things. Ganapati is the Devata. You also have to remember the Devata whenever you chant. In fact, you have to do Dhyanam of that Devata. That also the verse will come later. How to do Dhyanam? You have to visualize the Devata, and then only you are doing Japa on that Devata. So here the mantra is Om Gang Ganapataye Namaha. That is the mantra. And also there is a Gayatri mantra also is there as a continuation of this. So Gayatri mantra, I told you Gayatri is only a meter. The most popular Gayatri mantra is the Savita Gayatri. That every day we do. Correct? Every day during Sandhya Vandanam, you are supposed to chant it at least 108 times, or 64 times, or 32 times, like that, or even 16 times if you don't have time, like that. But you have to chant it. So here also normally we have some rules. Before any chanting we do 10 times pranayama. That is because if you have a certain regulation of your breath, correct, the mind also calms. So always we do pranayama first, and then only you have to do japa. This also is there. Even during Sandhya Vandanam, you are supposed to do 10 pranayamas first. But that also people don't do properly. They just keep the finger on the nose like this and simply chant the pranayama mantra very quickly. But you can, there is a way. You have to take the breath while chanting the mantra. And then you have to slowly release your breath again while chanting the another part of the mantra. Like that you can do Anuloma Viloma Pranayama. Also you do, it is useful. And while doing the pranayama, you focus on the breath itself. That will calm you down. Even if any other thoughts are there while you sat down to do japa, all that will go away, correct? As soon as you start watching your breath, prana vikshanam itself is good enough. That will in certain ways calm down your mind. Then you do the japa. And here Gayatri, Ganesha Gayatri also is there. Gayatri is there on all devatas nowadays. Even Shirdi Sai Baba and all is having a Gayatri. I don't know who invented that. So people are inventing new mantras. So those who invented all this mantra, whether you can call them a rishi or not, we don't know. Okay, but there are, even in the Mahanarayana Upanishad is there, in Taittiriya, there are some 7-8 Gayatri mantra has been given. Okay, so even Aditya, for Aditya Devata also there is a separate Gayatri is there. Bhaskaraya Vidmahe Mahadyutikaraya Dhimahi, like that. See, this Gayatri itself, you say, is in a certain form. All these Gayatris, if you see, what is that? We say you have to learn, know this particular Devata in this particular form, and then you do Dhyanam on that Devata and let that Devata impel me. Prachodayat means what? That Devata is now the one who is impelling my mind. May my mind not operate from the standpoint of me being a small ego or an individual. May my mind operate as part of the order, which is Ishvara's order. Correct? Let it go along with the Ishvara's order rather than acting as an individual, because all problems are there when you act as the individual. But may my mind always act, not only my, in fact, all these prayers, if you see, Naha is there, Tan Naha, Tat Devata. Tat here is that Devata. Naha means what? Tan Me means myself. This is singular. But Tan Naha means plural. May that Devata guide us, impel us. Us is the used, not me. Okay. So it is also a larger prayer. So when the Brahmanas chant Gayatri Mantram, or even others are supposed to do that, you are not only praying for yourself, you are praying for the entire society, because it is the Tan Naha is there in the mantra. So in this case, Ekadantaya Vidmahe. So the one who has only one Danta, okay, Danta literally means teeth, but in the context of Ganesha, the Danta is the tusk. So Ganesha broke one tusk. There is a story also to write Mahabharata. He didn't have time to get a proper. In those days, they had all this. They have to write on palm leaves, correct, or leaves, some kind of leaves, and he didn't have time to get. They use a certain kind of a needle, kind of a thing to write. He didn't get it, so he used his tusk. Like that, there is a story. That's why Ganesha one tusk is always broken. Ekadantaya Vidmahe. So may we know this Ekadanta Ganesha. And also Vakratundaya. Ganesha is always represented with a Vakratunda. Tunda means trunk. And Vakram means it is in a certain curved trunk. Not straight. Ganesha will never have straight. Always has a certain curved trunk. Why? Because Omkara Swarupa also. We saw, correct? Ganesha is Omkara Swarupa. That Omkara comes because of that curved trunk, and he is always holding something also. The trunk is curved, and there is some kind of Amrita Kalasha or Modaka, something Ganesha is holding in his curved trunk. So may we visualize the Lord with one tusk and a curved trunk. Okay. And that Lord Ganesha, Tat Naha, may us, okay, we, Dantihi, that Lord who is Danti. Dantihi again is Chandasa Prayoga. Danti it has to be. Okay, Dantin is the Pratipadika. Prathama Ekavachanam should be Danti, like that. Correct? Ikara. But Dantihi is there. Means we are, that is Chandasa. Vedic Sanskrit. Tanno Dantif Prachodayat. Prachodayat means may that Lord impel my my intellect, my mind, not only my, our mind, naha, because life is all about making choices. And with our limited intellect, whenever we make even the right choice, it doesn't look like right. Correct? Always there is a problem in choosing. Choosing itself becomes a problem. Some people have a problem that there are no choices. In fact, being choiceless is better, I think. Once you have too many choices, you don't know between the right ones also there is a problem of choosing. Choosing becomes a problem. And after choosing one, you are always thinking about the other one which you did not choose. That is a bigger problem. In fact, when we were growing up, we had only one channel on TV, okay, Doordarshan. And it was also not there 24 hours. It will start at evening only like 6 p.m. And it used to go till I think 11 p.m. or something. So we had only TV for those 5 hours. And as children, we will come and sit, in fact, in front of the TV at 5:45 only, when they will put some this color band kind of a thing they'll put initially. And then it will start with a certain music also, very famous music. Okay, I think it was in Shivaranjani Raga, very interesting music. So we will sit as children right from that music and watch TV, and we were very happy to watch only that one channel. Understand that we didn't have any choice anyway. Now you have so many channels, satellite TV is there, YouTube is there, Netflix is there, and you don't know what to watch. You are confused. You are first thinking for half an hour, 1 hour. First you are thinking what to watch, or you are flipping through things. You are not able to decide what to watch. By that time, I think your time is over. You'll go to sleep only flipping through different channels. Anyway, so choice is a problem. Even if you choose also, there is a problem. Or if you don't choose also, there is a problem. But let Bhagavan choose for me. That's the best option. Leave it to Bhagavan. May Bhagavan guide me, impel me to make the right choices in this life. This is the view of a bhakta, correct? Of a upasaka. But all of these Gayatri mantras are also Mahavakya. We have to take. Why? Because your mind also is lighted by the same consciousness, and the Devata also is nothing but that same consciousness. The reality of you also is one conscious being. The reality of the Devata also is the same conscious being. So, Naha Prachodayat itself is a really a and Dantihi. So, how can the Danti impel you? By being the consciousness only, correct? By being that conscious being who's also lighting up your mind. So, you are not really separate from that conscious being. In fact, you are that conscious being. That Devata also is that conscious being only. So, whenever this Tanno Devata Prachodayat part is there, it's all Mahavakya. For a Vedantic student, it is not only Upasana. The Upasana, after enough Shravana Manana, the Upasana now becomes Nididhyasana. Okay, it is to contemplate the truth of yourself. All these Gayatri mantra are all Mahavakya. Okay. Of course, the first two padas are generally to visualize the Devata in each case. Okay. But the last pada is a Mahavakya. The Devata who is like that, and you who are like this, both of you are that same consciousness only. Your reality is the same. And being that conscious being only, that Devata is really impelling your mind or making your mind behave as it is. So like this Gayatri mantra is there here. As I told you, every devata has a Gayatri mantra. If you have your Ishta devata, you can learn that devata's Gayatri mantra and chant it also. And Gayatri mantra, based on this only, that Purascharanam we say. How many times you have to chant a certain mantra to gain Siddhi, or that mantra will now bless you completely, let us say. That is called Purascharanam. You complete it fully. So for every syllable, you have to chant 100,000 times. That is based on the Gayatri. So Gayatri is 24 syllables. Means Gayatri mantra, any Gayatri mantra, you have to chant 24 lakhs. 1 lakh is 100,000, correct? 100,000 times you have to chant. If the mantra is smaller, like Ganganapataye Namaha, is only 8 syllables, means you have to now chant this Ganganapataye Namaha 3 times. In proportion to Gayatri, means now 72 lakh times you have to chant Ganganapataye Namaha. Then that mantra siddhi you will get, Purascharanam, you complete it. Okay. So like that, or Namah Shivaya is only 5 syllables are there, correct? Then you have to chant it almost more than 1 crore times. Then only you get Purascharanam. Like that, you take the mantra and you have to chant it so many times. Once you chant it so many times, that mantra now becomes, I told you, correct, becomes part of your, in fact, it is the background. In the background, instead of some other thoughts going and noise going on, this mantra is always going on. It will become like that. That is the aim also of doing the upasana. And then, whenever we do any upasana, I told you, we have to visualize the Lord in a particular manner. Even here it is there anyway, correct? Ekadanta, Vakratunda and all, we visualize it. Dantihi, the one who has the tusk, and only one tusk in fact, Ekadanta, that's what. But further, more detailed visualization also we do. In fact, in this Upanishad, Ganapati is visualized as somebody who is red Ganapati. So this red Ganapati is typically a Srividya Upasana thing. I think even in Bengal and all, they actually have red Ganapati. This red Ganapati concept is not very popular normally in regular Ganesha in South India and all that. But in certain circles, Ganapati is Rakta Varna. So here in fact it says Raktam Lambodaram Shurpa Karnakam Rakta Vasasam also. One who is wearing, one who himself is red, who is also wearing a red clothing. Rakta Gandha also. Even the, maybe because you have this Chandanam and Kunkumam on top of it, correct? That is also red. Rakta Pushpa, even the flower we offer. So here Ganapati is visualized in red color throughout. That is very interesting. In fact, after we also do that's why in our temple also we do many days. We put red cloth, red flower and all on Ganapati. So here how Ganapati is visualized, Ekadantam, one who has only one danta. Already we saw that. Chaturhastam, 4 arms are there. And what he is holding in all these arms? Pasham, Ankusham, Pashankusha Dharinam. Okay, so normally when you talk about 4 arms, any devata has a Abhaya Varada like this. So Abhaya, and this arm is like this, correct? Giving something. Abhaya Varada is 2 arms are supposed to have Abhaya and Varada Mudra. Because Lord is giving you freedom from fear and freedom from insecurity also. Varada means he is giving you whatever you want really. You don't lack anything in reality. He gives you whatever you want. Varada. Whatever vara, whatever you ask, he gives. And no fear. This is Abhaya. Don't fear. I am there. In fact, I am the only thing which is there. So there is no other vastu. There is no real cause for fear, in fact. And other than that, Pasha and Ankusha also is there with Ganapati here. Chaturhastam. So Radancha Varadam Hastair, that also. Vibhranam Mushakadhvajam. So Mushaka means mouse. Dhvaja means one who has the flag in which mouse is there. Okay. And one in his four hands, as I told you, Pasha means a rope. Okay, which Yamadharma is supposed to have this rope also. With that rope only, Yamadharma is taking away all the jivas, it seems. When he comes, he separates the prana from the body and takes you to Yamaloka first or Pitruloka, wherever. So that Pasha means Pasha here is the attachment also. Correct. In fact, the Pasha itself is Maya in one way. There is no real, you are not really bound or tied by anything, correct? The rope is to tie you, bound you. But that binding is really Maya. That's only Maya Shakti. It's only an appearance. It is like if you don't have a rope to tie a cow, even if you make the moose, they say the cow will think that it is now tied up and it will not move, thinking that it is tied. Tomorrow you have to come and again make the moose as though it is, you are releasing it, then it goes away. Like that, there is a story is there. See, one guy was there, he didn't have a rope to tie the cow, the rope, something happened to it, let us say. Then the Shishya went to the Guru and asked, Guru, what do? I don't have a rope to tie the cow tonight. Guru said, go and just act as though you have the rope and tie the cow. So he did like that. Cow also sat down. But tomorrow it's not getting up. He went back to the Guru again and said, cow is not getting up even though it is not tied. But Guru asked, did you really untie it? Shishya is saying, no, there is no rope. Why should I untie? That you know, but the cow doesn't know that, correct? So you have to go and act as though you are untying it, then only it will get up. Like that, this tying, untying, bondage and all is only appearance. It's all ignorance only. But that is a Shakti. That is, Ishvara is holding you with that Shakti only. So like that, we visualize Ganapati here. We will see all this. We'll continue this next week. In fact, afterwards, one more. This is called Ganapati Mala Mantra. This also we chant even during our puja, arati and all that. This Namo Vratapate. So 3 different mantras are there in this Upanishad. Om Ganganapate Namaha, Ganesha Gayatri, and this Ganesha Mala Mantra. All these are very important mantras. We'll see that further. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Yeah. Okay.
Dhanyavad Guruji.
Dhanyavad Guruji.
Yeah. Tell me.
Vidmahe means what is the meaning? Vidmahe and Dhimahi.
Vidmahe means may we know. Okay.
Maybe?
Dhimahi means may we meditate upon or may we do dhyanam.
May we meditate.
Okay. Or may we visualize.
And then you said Punascharanam or what is that?
Purascharanam. Purascharanam.
Pura. Okay.
Purascharanam means you complete
Again and again.
so many
Repetition.
numbers of that japa. That's why Normally, when you do japa, you are supposed to count also always and keep a count.
Yeah.
Then only you will know that because after you do so much japa, you are supposed to do some homa and all that. There is a paddhati there also, how to finish it off. Okay.
Thank you,
For
Guru.
that purpose, always you have to count while you do the japa. That is
Okay.
also there. There is a tradition like that. Okay.
Dhanyavad ji, Dhanyavad ji.
Dhanyavad Guruji.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Very, very interesting today.
Very, very interesting.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
No words to explain.
Yeah.